most brands fail not because of their follower or even the people they hire or even the finances. Good day, everyone. Today with me is the CEO and founder of 7o4. Good day, sir.
Good day, good afternoon.
So I know that starting a brand from
Yeah.
scratch could be very tiring, very exhausting. How
Yeah.
was the journey for you?
To be honest, starting a brand is not easy, like you said. And for me, particularly, it was a little challenging in the beginning, right?
Okay.
Just because I was not in Nigeria at the time when 7o4 started. And when it started initially, I'm sure that some of us understand that it started as a fashion brand, not an e-commerce brand, for example. And then that didn't work out solely because there was some structure that we didn't put in place, people and things like that. So we decided to stop that part of the business. So we then relaunched as an e-commerce brand. But there was a lot of challenges starting, and like I said, just because I was not in the country at the time, so we could not particularly deliver what we promised our customers in terms of the value and all of that, because we are trying to relate with people. It was disconnected. I was there, the business is resident here, and at the same time, we don't have a lot of things in place at the time. So it was quite challenging. But then with persistence, consistency, and we had to come back to Nigeria so that I can focus on this fully. And that's the reason why, I decided to relocate and focus on the business. And so
Okay.
far it's been very good.
All right. Was there a particular moment where you doubt your journey, like you wanted to quit and be like, you know what, I'm not doing this again?
I'll be lying if I say that wasn't the case. Because when it comes to business, yeah, it's difficult when you are putting the effort in the initial stage
Yeah.
and you are not seeing the results sort of. And I think it's only right for anybody to think of quitting. All right. But you never know what can be if you quit, right? You never know what you would be capable of if you stop showing up. And that's the mistake a lot of people make. Because the fact that you cannot see the result now does not mean that growth is not present.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I mean now?
Yeah.
So if you plant a seed today, there are some seeds that take 3 months to germinate. And that doesn't mean that there's no progress. Right? So not all progress, not all growth is visible initially when it starts. You just have to trust the process, be consistent to, you start seeing results.
I like the part where you say, when you're trying to like build something, not every you won't see the immediate this thing. You just have to like keep on pushing yourself, and at the end of the day, you're going to see the positive
Result.
results.
Yeah.
So would you say where 7o4 is right now?
Yeah.
Would you say is giving out the kind of impact you wanted to give out?
I would say yes. Because 7o4 is built around customer obsession, built around people, built around making impact, solving real life problems, with the solutions we provide with our products, right? And when you get testimonials from customers saying, because I used your product, I can see better now. Because I use your product and I have confidence in my skin. Because I use your product, my car is looking alive again. These are the things that you cannot fake those feeling in terms of
The
how.
satisfaction.
Yeah, exactly, that obviously you're making real impact in people's lives. And for me, no matter how little it is, it's significant because I think that fuels, you know, your energy when it comes to, making progress and doing the things that you want to do. So I would say yes, we're making impact in our way. We still want to continue to make this impact at a much more larger scale.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, as you all know, a typical Nigerian is always trying to like start something. I want to start business. I want to start brand. There's so many people on Instagram, on TikTok trying to start their brand from the scratch,
Yeah.
but they don't always make it.
Mm-hmm.
So, what do you think makes someone that's starting a brand from the scratch? What do you think is the reason why they fail early?
I think it's easy to have that initial burst of enthusiasm.
Yeah.
I want to start a brand, I want to build something. But without no clear vision, purpose, for you to have some level of consistency in something, there has to be something that drives it. There has to be that level of, I call it definiteness of purpose. Do you understand? That's one. And secondly, there has to be that burning desire to ensure that this purpose that I have, I push it. Does that make sense? So a lot of brand fail early just because obviously the why is not strong enough. Do you understand? And maybe when they start, they discover that the level of time and effort they need to invest in this thing is going to be so significant, and the consistency is not there. Yes, but honestly, not everybody's cut out for business because it's challenging. It's not easy at any point in time. But you just have to understand that, look, this is what I want to do. I need to sacrifice for it.
So basically, we need to have like a clear vision, and then prepare ourselves that, oh, what you are trying to do, like you need to, it needs to be on a long run. You have to be prepared for the challenges.
Yeah, that comes with
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Now, speaking of challenges, when we are starting a business or anything, we must face challenge. Challenges is not something that we can avoid. So, what is that challenge that you faced that almost make you feel like, you know what, I'm not doing this again?
Yeah. For me personally, I think when starting a business, it's important to have clear systems and structure. And for us at the time, even though we're getting volume in terms of orders, there was a limit to how we could actually fulfill them just because we didn't have structures and systems in place to scale. And the truth is, you cannot scale beyond the structure and the system that you have in place. It's not possible. So we're trying to push numbers, but then the structure we have on ground in terms of how to fulfill, SOPs, standard procedures and stuff like that, we're not clear enough,
Okay.
So we ended up wasting money, orders, customers not being satisfied the way they should, and things like that.
Okay.
But that comes with every business. When you're starting, when you're learning, you cannot get everything perfect, right?
Yeah.
But then as if I'm going to tell myself when I'm starting off, I should focus much more on systems and building that structure that ensures that this business can flourish. Do you understand? And secondly, as an entrepreneur or a creative or anybody at that, it's important that you protect your mental state because that's your creativity bank. And if you're okay mentally, it's easy for you to undo any challenge that comes because you're able to think better, you're able to make clearer decisions, you're able to relate better with people. All of these things foster proper communication, healthy relationship, problem solving, and all of that. But then if you don't guard your mind, if you don't guard your thoughts, if you are not deliberate with what you consume, and you're not in the best shape, right? Even if you have the best people around you, you won't function right. That's the truth, right? So it's important that, and at some point in time, I dealt with that too. So it was much more of external challenge and at the same time an internal one. So you need to trust me as possible to understand that being in the right frame of mind is very important as an entrepreneur, as a creative, or just anybody that's trying to
Okay.
make progress. Yeah.
All right. So basically, for those that are listening to this and probably you have a brand that you want to start, have clear structure and also take care of your mental state. Yeah, because as I said, the mental state is actually the bank of creativity.
Yeah.
So we need to take care of it. Now, when starting the brand, you talked about the vision, you talk about your challenges, you talk about the impact that your business have so far.
Yeah.
So, and I'm sure you have more ideas for your brand. You want your brand to be more than where it is right now.
Of course.
Yeah, but like what vision you want, like in, let's even be as close as maybe in 3 years time. What vision do you have for your brand?
So in 3 years from now, where do I see 704? I was thinking about that this morning and I wrote some things down, and that's the truth. We want to be significant in this game. What does that mean? In 3 years from now, if you ask us, or let's say top e-commerce brand in Nigeria, you should be able to mention 704. Like, you cannot mention top 5 and our name is not there. Do you understand?
Yeah.
And again, it doesn't have to just be under the name 704 stores or 704 Limited. We could also explore other names, but whatever it is that we explore or we are exploring, when you're mentioning people's name in that beauty, in that e-commerce space, we want to be in that conversation. Do you understand?
Yeah.
I think it's not even a small dream in the sense because it's something that requires a lot of work and stuff. But obviously, for us to do that, we cannot just be supply. We cannot just be what's it called now, distributing products and all of that. There has to be a lot of things that comes into it. We want to try to own the entire chain in terms of I won't say manufacturing now, but owning our own product that's unique to us. Do you understand? And also, one thing that we're very particular about is also speed. Right? We want to limit the time in which you order from us now and the time that we deliver to you. We can reduce that to the barest minimum. We know that we are able to retain our customers and outshine our competitor in that sense. All right. But in 3 years from now, we just really want to be in a place whereby we are dominating the market.
From the way this conversation is going, I think it will be there.
Amen. Definitely.
So what inspired you to naming your brand 704? Because to me it's a quite unique name, 704.
What do you think? What do you think it means?
I felt like 7 people was distributed to 4 people.
Okay. It's not that deep, to be honest, if you think of it. I think a lot of people ask me this question and I tell them it's not deep at all. Because a lot of people think, where did this name come from? All of that.
Sounds unique actually.
Yeah, it actually. I came up with this name when I was in a bus, like for this downfall. Then I was still, what's the word now? I was interning at a fashion house now. So I go there every Monday, then I go home every Friday or Saturday, come back again on Monday. So that happened on my way back home from that week's work. And I was thinking I want to also create my own fashion brand. Like I said, as a fashion brand.
Yeah.
So what name should I call it? I was just thinking. My mind was permutating. And what's the word now? Permutating, yeah. So I'm thinking of different combinations, arrangement that fit into the ideas that I had in my head. And 704 popped up. And it came from my birthday, which is 7th of April.
Oh.
The 7th of April. So April is the 4th month of the year. So it's like 704.
That's nice.
That's
All right. All right. So it was really lovely having you here, but I'd like the audience to go home with one thing that they can take as a mantra. They can use to remind themselves, because most of them are actually like trying to start a brand also, while some of them are already in the brand and probably struggling currently. So if there's like few advice you can give them.
All right. So for those that are intending to start something, or maybe you're currently in a business, to be honest, I think I mentioned it in the podcast already. You need to pay attention to internal, because what's internal that birth external. And what I mean by that is you need to be very particular about your mind. And I'm a very big advocate of this because this is the most singular gift or greatest gift God gives man. Because anything that you can think of today came out of human beings thinking. Talk about rockets being made, space, exploration, talk about anything. There's no great feat like you can talk about now and that didn't come from here. So this is your greatest asset, your mind. So what do? You need to guard it. So all this, whatever you consume. I did something recently. I went on my Instagram. I don't follow any blog whatsoever on my Instagram. just because I don't want to wake up and I'm just going through my phone and what I'm seeing is some very sad news and your brain cannot even function properly again just
Yeah.
because your mind is just constantly ruminating on these things, right? So whatever it is that you consume has to be very intentional. Do you understand?
Yeah.
And one thing also is that you cannot go beyond what your mind can conceptualize. All right, what that means is that you need to keep developing your mind. You need to keep renewing it. You know, you need to keep feeding it the right things at every time. And if you're able to do this and you're able to, you know, if you have a definiteness of purpose already, like things that you actually want to do,
Yeah.
and you have the right mindset and you have the right will to pursue it, the sky is your limit, I trust. Trust me.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So basically, guys, don't doom scroll. Don't just follow anybody. You should be
Yeah.
intentional. Go like right now, immediately after this podcast, I personally am going to my Instagram, my social media, and change my algorithm. And I feel that you guys should also do that too.
Yes, yes.
Thank you so much for being a host at our podcast.
Thank you very much.
And it was lovely to meet you.
Yeah.
And should I
also
be a closing?
you did a very good job. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
And your smile is very good. Very lovely smile. And thanks for having me. I'm happy to be here. And I know that this is just the beginning of the greater things that we'll be doing here at 7o4.
Yeah.
And we are glad to have you as our host for tonight.
Yeah.
For this afternoon. Sorry.